On this show, we cover some sensitive topics.
Though the obituaries may be outlandish, the people are real.
Names have been changed or omitted in order to respect both the deceased and the survived by.
While death is no laughing matter, some petty last words can provide some pretty entertaining comic relief.
Welcome to Obituary. Welcome back to Obituary. I'm Spencer Henry.
And I'm Madison Reyes.
And welcome to Toyota-thon.
Woohoo! Welcome to Geoff Toyota. How can I help you?
Oh, I was looking to get a big, manly, masculine truck, Madison.
Oh, well, you're in luck. We have a great selection of Tundras,
Ooh.
Forerunners, and my personal favorite, Tacomas.
Oh, yeah. I want all of them.
What color?
The biggest color.
The most popular color, sure.
Yeah. And I just want a big bed that I can throw a mattress in.
Oh, okay. Well, come on over here and take a look.
Wow, it's so big. I've never seen one like this before.
Oh, yes. It has 4 holes. I mean, doors.
I can't keep going. Hi, Geoffs. Happy
Hi,
Thursday.
Geoffs. Guess who bought a truck today?
That's who fucking bought a truck. It was me. I bought a truck.
Yes.
And we love her. Is it a boy?
Yes. He's portraying every
Yeah.
male stereotype.
Okay.
So we like him.
We like him.
Yeah.
A lot. We're going to go for a ride in him later. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Last week we mentioned the truck. I mean, this is how fast it truly happened because we the other day drove by the dealership like we were saying, and Madison was like, oh, let's just go look. I mean, if that hadn't been for that, I probably would not have bought a truck. But next thing you know, I'm at the dealership today filling out paper. The fucking guy who works, I didn't tell you this, the guy who worked in the finance department or whatever, where you have to go sign all the paperwork. Super nice old man, but he's like, you got a girlfriend? And
No, I have a wife.
my gay ass is sitting there with hot dog because she came to the dealership, and I was like, nope, no girlfriend. And he was like, oh, saves you money, huh? And I was like, oh yeah. Please. I was like, nope, it's just this little lady over here. And hot dog was just chilling. He had a picture of his little dog on his phone, so sweet old man.
Older people just don't fucking get it.
I'm like, all right.
You shouldn't ask that or assume.
Oh, please. I love it. He's like, you buying a truck? You got a girlfriend?
Yep. You must have a girlfriend if you're buying a truck.
I know those queer folk. They're not buying trucks.
Oh, man.
But we love it. You helped me go drop me off so I could pick it up.
I had all the children with me. Furry children. We just got a truck.
We got a truck.
We got a truck. Wow.
Truly, anytime either of us gets anything, it's ours.
Yeah, exactly.
We are very much in a partnership. I actually I had to put like a contact as like a referral for the thing.
I put you as an emergency contact for...
Maybe the house when you did the application.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, you're my emergency contact here.
Yeah.
Girlies who got each other's backs.
Oh my God. Wait, can we just talk about how last night we were dying laughing, talking about our struggles with OCD?
Oh, because that's ridiculous. Like
the rituals.
Which I feel like you don't always find, but we both have very similar rituals.
Mm-hmm.
We both film our rituals at night.
Yes, we each have these rituals that we do.
Well, they're different.
Yes.
You add some extra flair to yours.
I do. And like my number is 7. I have to do things 7 times. Your number is what, 3?
6.
You're number 6?
I'm number 6.
Oh, okay. You're 6, I'm 7. And
mine has to be even.
I remember I've explained this to you. I like even also, but 7 feels even because I can hit 3 on the left side, 3 on the right side, and 1 in the middle. kind of thing.
Well,
Like, that's how it looks in my brain.
We were comparing videos last night because...
We film ourselves locking the door.
Well, and that's
checking
not
the
by
stove.
chance. You told me to film it because I was talking to you because I had been talking to my therapist. God fucking damn it. Why are we talking about this? I was talking to my therapist about it a long time ago because, I mean, certain times it's more heightened than other times. And I got stuck in like a loop one time of like going back and forth between checking the door and checking the stove. I did it so many times that night. And you were like, you need to just film it. So I started filming mine when I go to bed so that if I get into bed and I'm like, is something still on or is something unlocked? I can look and know, which was great advice.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's like, I'm sure we should just try to ignore the compulsions altogether.
Sure.
But it was the only thing where I could do it and get out of the fucking house if I had to get out of the house or go to bed. I'm sure a lot of you have OCD because it is very common.
Well, it's also my therapist, I was telling you, doesn't even call it OCD. She's just like, well, she doesn't not call it OCD, but she's like, your daily anxiety, she's like, this is just how it's manifesting itself at nighttime. Because if you think about it, like, what happens if you don't lock that door? And I'm like, well, somebody comes in
and kills you.
and murders me. And she's like, what happens if you leave the oven on? I'm like, oh, my house will blow up and me and Hot Dog will die.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah. I'm afraid of the stove, definitely. I mean, sure, I've said it here before. Like, my husband in his vows to me for our wedding said, I promise to check the stove every night and to lock every window because the stove freaks me out, but I'm not afraid it'll kill me. I'm afraid it'll kill everyone else and I'll be the lone survivor and have to deal with it.
Okay.
So that scares me. And then the front door fucking scares me. I'm afraid it's going to blow open. The dogs, I'll never see them again.
Just some sick puppies over here.
But we were dying laughing because you got to laugh at it. You got to laugh at how crazy it is because we know it's crazy. We know when we look back, okay, I have to do a karate kick to the door 7 times. I know it's crazy, but I have to do it. You get stuck in a loop and go back and forth 25 times, well, 6 times, and you just gotta laugh.
You gotta laugh. Well, it's funny because we have videos of us silently going through our houses at night, like doing these rituals that just look fucking insane because they are.
Do you know how many times I have accidentally either sent one of those as a cameo or uploaded it with the the upload of the episode on Instagram?
Just fucking getting a video of Madison kicking a door shut. Oh, God, I love it.
I have impeccable balance.
Well, so we went back last night and we were watching that old episode of True Life, which I'm sure if you're around our age, you guys remember. It's just wild to watch now.
Wild, but we get it.
Yeah. We're like, oh my God, that's fucking crazy. But like, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. There's one girl that like touches corners. I always have to touch a corner. Like I have to put my pinky on a corner.
My favorite was when she was staring in the mirror and she's like, I have to put my arm out to the left and smile for God.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
We were sitting there like, fuck, we're going to pick some of these up.
I know. I was like, am I going to get a new habit?
Oh, God. Well, at least our houses are like Fort Knox and they are secure, honey.
Yeah, try it. Please,
serial killer, or whoever's trying to come kill us.
These doors are locked. We locked them doors.
And we turned them lights down low.
Low. Oh my God, wait, I want to talk to you. Okay, so I was watching The View without my girlfriend. I don't have a girlfriend, but I was watching The View this morning, and I don't know if you saw this, but there was this story in their like Hot Topics segment where they were talking about this woman who claims that her house is haunted by a ghost that's attracted to her. Let me see if I can just play the video of them talking about it on The View, because then Joy Behar starts talking about how she has had some encounters with ghosts as well of the sexy variety.
Why can't that happen to us?
Ugh, please.
They can't get in. Everything's locked up.
It's locked. Okay.
As Halloween approaches, a Texas woman is claiming her house is being haunted by ghosts who aren't shy about their intentions. Take a look.
I was in here with...
Through the curtain, a dark figure whispered, "Looking good."
And then he turned and walked off.
Linda assumed it was her husband until her husband walked in.
And he said, "Who were you talking to?" And it was like, oh my God.
He swore it wasn't him.
It really is haunted.
Rumor has it, the house used to be a bordello, which may explain why the ghosts here are, how do I say this?
Sexual.
Yeah, okay.
No other way to put it.
Audio recordings have caught the ghosts talking dirty.
Oh, baby, yeah. Yeah, I like it like that.
Okay, so that was like the gist of they played that clip. And then, okay, so this is from page 6, and it says Joy Behar's shocking revelation. I've had sex with a few ghosts.
No, not Joy.
Uh-huh. She's getting her joys from the great beyond. Joy Behar shocked the View when she revealed that she's had sex with a few ghosts while the panelists were discussing footage of a woman who claimed to have sexual ghosts in her home. If you have sex with a ghost, can you get pregnant? Sarah Haynes asked, and I love her. And Joy said, I've had sex with a few ghosts and never got pregnant. I'm just going to let that one ride, Whoopi Goldberg responded. I just don't know how many of you just heard what Joy said, but I'm just going to let it ride. It's unclear how Behar's husband, Steve Janowitz, feels about her trysts with the phantoms. Oh, God.
If my husband came home saying he had sex with a ghost, I would be fine with it. If he had a little ghost girlfriend, that's fine.
Love it. Why not? I was laughing this morning because I was talking to Olivia and she was like, what did you say on Obituary about my garlands? I guess people have been buying her garlands. You Geoffs, thank you for supporting her. She screenshotted and sent me some messages that people had like sent to her website. Like, I came from Obituary. Your garlands are so cute. I was like, that is so nice. So thank you guys for doing that.
Thank you guys. And also thank you, Olivia, for making the cutest stuff.
Yes. Her Instagram's at Everyday Jubilee.
Yay Jubilee is her
website, yayjubilee.com.
Yes.
So I'm sure there's going to be some Christmas garlands in that bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What different jobs we have.
I know.
She's like doing like cutie little crafts. And we're like, you hear the one about the scrotum that got stuck in a jackhammer? Yeah, the guy's head fucking fell off.
Oh, God.
Oh, but she was saying, yeah, she's like, your intros are really long.
Are they too long, guys?
No, I don't think they're too long. She wasn't saying it in a bad way. She's like, I was like listening, and then I didn't have time to finish the episode because I didn't even have time to get to the actual stuff.
Oh my God. We just want to talk to you guys.
Yeah, we just like to talk, okay?
Well,
speaking of talking, don't do it. Do you have an email?
I do, and this email takes funeral foods to a whole new level, Spencer. Okay.
Can we make funeral potatoes during the holiday season?
Yes, we have to.
Oh, I'm going to bring it to Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Yes.
I love it.
Okay.
Where are you doing Thanksgiving?
Probably Palm Springs.
Yeah. All right.
We could do a Friendsgiving.
Yes.
Before at your new house.
Yes.
Let's do that.
I would love to do that.
Let's do that.
Okay.
But I'm the only friend that can come.
Yes. If my new couch ever fucking comes.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. You guys, I ordered a couch. It was supposed to be here a month and a half ago. It's not going to be here for another month.
Ugh.
I'm going to lose it.
Lose it.
Anyway, the listener email says, Hi, Madison, Spencer, Hot Dog, Doris, and Desi. I know y'all love a funny funeral story, so I thought I would share mine. Please don't share my name because I don't want to slander my aunt, even though I can't believe this happened. My grandpa passed away a few years ago, just short of his 101st birthday.
Oh my God.
I know. For the last few years of his life, he lived at an assisted living facility. He was extremely independent. He just fell down a lot, so it was better if he was somewhere someone could keep an eye on him.
Aw.
Honestly, same, and I'm only in my 20s. I know.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to be there too.
We're ready to get Madison into a home soon.
Up into his late 90s, he was leading a wall push-up class in his room every day.
Hell yeah.
For his nurses, video attached, which I'll show you. So he was way more in shape than I am. Anyway, in the last few months of his life, he had gotten really into eating a donut with a specific type of jelly for breakfast every morning. You know those little to-go cups of spreadable jelly you get at like a hotel continental breakfast?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Some specific flavor of that. I would like to reiterate that this man was over 100 years old and just started eating this in the last few months of his life.
I love it. He's like, I'm going to live, honey.
Yeah, they said so literally he enjoyed this breakfast for like 4% of his life. So then, tell me why. We're at the visitation and I'm just trying to celebrate the life of my favorite person on earth. And my aunt decides that it would be nice to put a donut and a container of jelly in the casket. They literally got a plate, and a donut from the kitchen and search for his favorite flavor of jelly and put it on my grandpa's chest in the casket. At this point, I'm livid. Maybe it was irrational, but I stand by it because what the fuck? I asked my mom, you guys are going to take that out, right? Nope. Next thing I know, they've put the plate in a gallon Ziploc baggie. Talk about the environmental impact of traditional burials. And the casket is shut. Nothing to be done. This man is being walked down the aisle of the church with a donut on his chest. I'm sorry, Papa. I'm not kidding when I tell you I still think about this like once a month. Just minding my own business and then, holy shit, my grandpa is buried with a giant Ziploc baggie.
Isn't it crazy to think like it's still there? And that jelly's probably still preserved, baby. They use like Smuckers at
yeah.
things.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's my funny funeral story. Feel free to share it on the podcast if you ever see it. I found you guys through Morbid and have been a loyal Geoff ever since. You make me cackle every episode, and I now say, hey, and yeah, like Spencer multiple times a day.
Oh my God, I love it. And I love that. I mean, listen, he didn't get to have it, as you said, until the last 4% of his life. So now he gets to have it forever.
Okay, let's just say.
No, I would be furious.
Okay.
No, actually, I don't know if I'd be furious. I'd just be like, you guys, I don't think we need to do that.
But if it was you, if someone did that to you, like if I was like, he loved the sloppy Joe from Swingers. Or the veggie Joe from Swingers. Like he loved it.
No, I don't think I'd want that. Put a cigarette in there, sure.
Oh, we will.
Put a cigarette
Put a whole carton
and an iced coffee. Mm-hmm. And just let me fucking go to town in the afterlife.
Yes. I love it. I love it. But we get you'd be pissed, but God, that's fucking funny.
It's fucking hilarious. I love it. Some might call it an asshole move.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
It's time for some Am I the Assholes? This first one says, am I the asshole for yelling at my mom after she said she probably can't attend my husband's funeral?
What?
My female 28 husband died a month ago. My heart feels like it's been ripped out of my chest, but I'm trying to get through it all.
Oh.
The funeral was small in his home state. We have the memorial on Saturday, which friends and extended family are attending. My mom is very close to her siblings, and I want to add that I also have a good relationship with my cousins, aunts, and uncles. My reaction isn't based off of some built-up anger or something. My 5-year-old cousin fell yesterday and hit his head. He had a pretty bad bruise and vomited. They went to the ER, he got checked out with a CT scan, and thankfully everything is fine internally. My aunt let the family know what was going on, and my mom was going crazy with worry. She let me know and told me to talk to my aunt. I called her and she was crying, saying how scared they all got. My mom said that she wasn't sure if she could attend my husband's memorial, depending on how my cousin was doing.
What?
I was pretty shocked. She said that my aunt and uncle are going through a lot of emotional turmoil and she's worried about them.
Your
Your
daughter
daughter's husband
just lost her husband.
Now, I will completely understand if my aunt's family can't make it, but I want my mother to be with me through my emotional turmoil.
Yes.
I admit I sort of lost it and cried/yelled at her on the phone that I'm sorry what happened to my cousin, but they're fine. My husband is dead. I'm barely holding it together, and now she's telling me she can't make it. My mom said I'm overreacting and something really bad could have happened to my cousin. I hung up, and she just sent me a message saying she understands I'm emotional, and she'll try to make it, but I should be more understanding towards my baby cousin.
Wow.
I decided to post it here for some unbiased opinions if I went too far for yelling at my mom.
No, you didn't go far enough.
Yeah, you should have fucking pushed her too. Just kidding.
Wow. That is fucked up.
Her mom is the asshole for sure.
Big time. Let me guess. The mom was voted the asshole, huh? Because there's no way.
This one was actually one that was posted, I think, today because I don't even think it had, it had a ton of comments and stuff, but it didn't have a final conclusion yet. So it was
So someone's
fresh
going through this right now.
right now.
We hope you hear us.
Yeah, we hope someone hears us that knows you and is
Maybe
like,
the mom's a Geoff.
well, fuck you. No,
Yeah.
because guess what? A mother Geoff would know that you need to go to that funeral. Asshole.
Wow.
This next one says, am I the asshole for kicking out all my husband's relatives and not giving them what they are entitled to?
Oh.
This happened 1 month ago, but only now have I managed to be fine. My husband passed away 37 days ago from cancer. He didn't have a good relationship with the family, as we are a homosexual couple, but he came from a wealthy family, and the house that we lived in was a gift from his parents before we came out. We dated for 3 years until we discovered that he had cancer, and it was already very aggressive and in the terminal phase. Then we got married because it was our dream to do so. It was something very rushed, and we even tried to invite their parents, but their answer was no. Because of this, knowing the nature of his parents, he asked to make it a specific type of civil marriage so that I would be entitled to everything before and after the wedding. If it was another, the parents would be entitled to things in his name acquired before marriage. This was protected by law, not illegal. The party was wonderful for a few people, 10 of us total. My sweet husband survived for 9 months and then finally had his well-deserved rest. Oh, sweet.
I know.
I was numb despite having prepared for months for this moment. I couldn't even stay at the house. My mother took me to sleep at her house for a few days. I ended up getting a notification from the home security system 6 days after the funeral, and I went to see the cameras, and my husband's entire family was there with a big truckload of movers. His sister he trusted had a spare key because she took care of our animals many times while we were traveling. I went there, and I admit that I blew up. Cursed even the 10th generation of the family, and even more so my sister-in-law. They started to say that they were entitled to everything because the house and furniture were all acquired before the marriage, and that I shouldn't act surprised if by law they can resolve this in court. They were going to see about it, but until then, they would keep it so that I didn't sell anything.
Wow.
I cursed even more and said that they had no right because my husband knew very well how they were and assured me that everything went to me. I talked about the civil marriage type. They were surprised and started to say that this is not correct because at the least the house was theirs as it was given as a gift. But they left after I said I would call the police if they didn't leave and keep harassing me about the matter. I had to swap numbers because of several numbers saying I'm an opportunistic gold digger and that I should be aware that this house truly doesn't belong to me. I know I'm protected by law, but sometimes I wonder if I should give up the house just for the peace. Am I the asshole? And they wrote, sorry, English isn't my first language. The house is just in his name, has no conditions, and believe me, they tried to take the house away in the past.
Wow.
No, you're not the asshole.
No.
And do not give up that house. That is yours.
Yes. But also, if you need peace, just get the fuck out of there.
Sell it.
You sell it. Yeah, totally.
I would not give the house back to the family.
No.
I'd be like, no.
No. Unless they were like really great to you. I mean, they already weren't great though.
No, I would
weren't-
write them off completely. And it sounds like they had already tried to take the house back from his husband before. And his husband made it clear, we're getting married specifically like this so that they cannot take shit from you.
Right. God, that
A
is
gift. We should be able to take it back because it's a gift. Do you know what a fucking gift is? Idiots. Dumbasses. You can't put conditions on a gift.
No. But I don't know, like when people are grieving, like even going back to the last one with the mom, it's like people do crazy things and it's not about like the mom with the cousin. It's not about people do weird shit when they grieve. And I'm not making any excuses for any of the assholes here. But never mind. You got it.
Longest thing of my life. I'm leaving this in. Fuck. I'm like, what is she gonna say? Honey, spell it out. I mean,
my God.
we're known for rambling, but my God. Fucking, your eyes went to the back of your head.
My
bitch.
eyes shut.
We're like, what? Oh my God. Well, you're up first this week.
Yeah, so do you have a little side bitch?
I do. My side bitch is, okay, love her. Jennifer Ellen Rex. If you know that name, you probably owe her rent, so pay up.
Oh.
It won't be pretty if she has to get Jesus involved.
Oh, not a threat from Jesus.
She's threatening. Consider this your official notice. Jennifer Rex, affectionately known as Uma, entered eternal life on September 20th, 2022. Her spirit is carried on by her 4 children, 5 grandchildren, 4 surviving siblings, mother, and an extended family of nieces, nephews, cousins, friends, real estate agents, first-time homebuyers, landlords, tenants, handymen, plumbers, electricians, cheap laborers, and more.
Wow.
Born in Tulsa, Oklahoma on March 9th of 1953. That was my great-grandma Lil's birthday, March 9th.
Oh.
Love her. Jennifer was known for her passion for real estate. She was a longtime broker and agent, property manager, investor, and the lessons she left behind are many. She taught us that you want to make your own money when you buy, that houses don't sell unless the sellers really want to sell, open houses are a waste of time, your criminal records are on the internet, and that a full stomach is the answer to most of what ails you. But whatever ails you, she has had worse than that on her eyeball. Other lessons include always keep the equivalent of 6 months' salary in spare change in your car. Don't ask for money, ask to work. Take care of veterans, be loyal, and if you want to tell a secret in a public place, just whisper really loud. She loved God, the universe, angels, cardinals, 2 husbands, a few dogs, the guitar, piano, old movies, little dabs of this and that, bright red lipstick.
Little dabs of this and that?
Yeah, bright red lipstick, colorful socks, the Queen of England, camping, vision boards, your mind's eye, the lake, and hearing what you learned the past year on your birthday, and all the holidays, especially Christmas and wacky gifts. Lots and lots of wacky gifts, but if the photos on her phone are any indication, she mostly loved house repairs and her grandchildren. Her silly poems and funny drawings may yet take over the art world. Her deviled eggs, pumpkin bread, chicken tetrazzini, booger pudding, chocolate delight, and Italian cream cake are certainly now on the menu in heaven. Jennifer had a beautiful, ever-present smile, big laugh, loving spirit that lit up a room and now lights up the sky and beyond forevermore. That's pretty, beyond forevermore.
Uh-huh.
Uma will be sorely missed, and then it lists some of her loved ones and the funeral service.
Oh, I love it.
Sounds like a real kick
That
in
was
the
a
pants.
good one.
Thank you. Thank
Really
you.
good
Well,
one.
I mean, I didn't write it, but thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm really excited to get into coffin spinners, so let's take a quick break,
Uh-huh.
and then we'll get into it.
Alrighty.
We'll be right back. And we're back. What had you spinning in your coffin this week, Madison?
All right, Geoffs. Today's coffin spinner is a little more serious than usual, I feel like, but still very, very interesting.
God, you made us so sad last week.
I know. I'm here to just ruin your day.
Welcome to fall, y'all.
All right. So last week we talked about Van Gogh, which made us very sad.
Yes.
I was researching him, so I stumbled upon a news article that talked all about the climate change activists. Did you see it where
They threw the soup or whatever,
they
right?
threw a can of soup at a Van Gogh, and
He's like, fuck, I didn't do anything.
I know, he's like, I fucking suffered. And then the others, some of them glued their hands to famous paintings. And so it just took me down a rabbit hole this last weekend. And I learned all about them, why they did it, the corruption behind big museums and the yeah. And then I stumbled upon a man named Win Bruce. You ever heard that name?
Win Bruce? No.
Okay, so Win Bruce just this year practiced something called self-immolation on Earth Day, right at the steps of the United States Supreme Court building. I'll get more into his particular story too later, but if you don't know, self-immolation is setting yourself on fire and burning, often to death, as a sacrifice.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's often used as a form of extreme nonviolent protest and sometimes devotion in some religions. And
Non-violent?
nonviolent, you're not harming anyone else, you're harming yourself, but
Pretty aggressive.
and it's typically almost always politically or religiously motivated.
Wait, I just have to tell you, our coffin spinners go entirely together today.
Really?
Like, entirely together.
We're just on the same wavelength.
I love it.
I love it too. Self-immolation has been around for centuries. The New Yorker wrote a whole article on it. They said, quote, the practice's longest history is in China, where beginning in the 4th century AD, Buddhist monks took to sitting in pyres to propitiate, to practice gannying, organying, the force that binds the corporeal and ethereal. I have always been weary of this physical frame for many a long day, one monk said before melting to death. His forebear, Fayu, started the trend of swallowing incense chips beforehand, perhaps to lubricate his soul's passage, and perhaps to improve the odor of the proceedings.
Oh my God, because they're going to light themselves on fire. That's fucking crazy.
I know. Soon enough, self-burnings became public performances. Officials attended. Crowds wept in admiration, and as the orders took on political power, so did self-immolation. Monks burned themselves to protest declining patronage from the ruling classes or to lament invasions. As the Qing dynasty disintegrated on the eve of the First World War, there was a wave of self-immolations in protest of the decline of, well, the world. For a lot of these names, I tried looking them up. I tried looking at the videos and stuff of how to pronounce. Can't find them anywhere, so guys, bear with me. But Fayu was the earliest recorded self-immolation in history. And then we've also talked about sati on here in the past. We did a whole episode on it, which was an ancient Nepalese and Indian practice where a widowed woman would jump onto her deceased husband's funeral pyre and die with him. And in some instances, instead of burning, they would just bury the widow alive with him. And in that particular episode, I talked about Room Kanwar, who was an 18-year-old woman who performed sati in 1987 and died in front of thousands who attended. So this is not a new concept, but it is one of those things that is not a new concept, but still is practiced way more than I thought.
What's the one with like the famous picture of...
Oh, we're going to get to that in just a second. I want to go into stories of people who self-immolated. So the first one are the Sochi Galeti, and they're from Russia. They were a group of people in the 1800s in Europe, and they were extremely devout Russian Christians. They believed that, quote, from funeralwise.com, death by fire as the only means of purification from the sins and pollution of the world. Between 1855 and 1875, groups of Sochi Galeti, numbering 15 to 100, burned themselves in large pits or dry buildings filled with brushwood. About the year 1867, no less than 1,700 are reported to have voluntarily chosen death by fire near Tumen in the eastern Ural Mountains. These Christians were actually mimicking a form of self-immolation called fire baptism, practiced by a 17th century Russian sect of Christianity known as the Old Believers. So again, another religious one. And then the one that you're talking about, the famous one, is called Burning Monk.
Yes.
Called The Burning Monk.
Yes.
That story is Thich Guan Duc. This man's picture I have so clearly in my mind. I feel like I've seen it throughout my whole life. If you guys don't know, I'm sure you've seen it, but it's a famous black and white picture of a Buddhist monk sitting in an intersection with a car behind him, and he's just on fire, and there's a bunch of onlookers
and he's like
watching.
Calmly sitting there.
Yes. That photo was taken on June 11th, 1963 in Saigon, Vietnam. Thich was protesting the persecution of Buddhists by the South Vietnamese government at the time. This was known as the Buddhist crisis. During this time, there were two things. The Vietnam War was raging on. It started November 1st of 1955, and it didn't end until April of 1975. Ngo Dinh Diem was the president of Vietnam, and the population was almost 90% Buddhist at the time. Well, Ngo was a Catholic and wanted to push the Catholic agenda in the country to a country that was 90% Buddhist. He clearly favored Catholics and gave them like high-ranking power positions and offered them different land and tax breaks, and he even dedicated the whole country to the Virgin Mary. There were sometimes forced religious conversions and just a shit ton of things that he would just kind of turn a blind eye to if you weren't Catholic.
Okay.
Like he just very much seemed to be against Buddhism.
Maybe you would have been a little more chill had you tried it.
I know. If you were Catholic, you were highly encouraged to fly a Vatican flag, and he put a ban on flying the Buddhist flag. So this pissed people off, and on May 8th, 1963, a large group of Buddhists held a peaceful protest against the ban of the Buddhist flag in the city of Hue in South Vietnam, and that day was also the birthday of Buddha. So they were like, we can't fly these flags. Like, no, we're having a peaceful protest. We're going to fly these flags.
Right.
This is our religion. And it was like 70 to 90% of the country was Buddhist. All they wanted was religious equality and planned to meet outside of the government radio station after they marched across the Perfume River to hear a speech from a fellow Buddhist monk. Instead, they were met with government forces forcefully trying to disperse the crowd. Grenades were launched into the crowds. They were sprayed with fire hoses. Armored vehicles were driven into the crowds, and they were fired at with guns. 9 people died, including 2 children who were run over by the armored vehicles.
Terrible.
On June 10th, 1963, there was another protest in South Vietnam held by Buddhists. This one was where Thich Quan Duc comes into play. He was, I think, in his 70s at the time, and it gives me chills reading about his story. So Thich arrived to the protest in his car with 2 to 3 other monks. He stopped his car at an intersection and got out. He pulled out a cushion and sat in the middle of that intersection. Then, according to All Things Interesting, quote, a 5-gallon petroleum can was in Thich's car. As he sat on the cushion, his legs crossed as if he were in deep meditation, one of the monks took it out and poured every drop over the monk's head. Coated in gasoline, he remained the picture of serenity, rotating the beads around his neck and chanting a prayer. Then, it goes on to say, though no one had noticed it until then, he had been holding a match in his hand. The last words of his prayer left his mouth, and then he lit the match. He dropped the match onto his own robes, and in an instant, his whole body was engulfed in flames.
Oh.
The crowd broke out into panic. The sound of people's screams were pierced by a monk yelling into a microphone. A Buddhist priest burns himself to death. A Buddhist priest becomes a martyr. It goes on to say the fire department was trying to make their way through the crowd. They were shouting to each other desperately, arguing about how to put out the fire without killing him, but they would never get the chance to try. The monks laid down in front of their wheels, risking their lives to keep them from saving Thich. Only one person was calm, which was Thich himself. He never moved a muscle, never uttered a sound, a witness recalled, even as his body burned. For 10 minutes, he was nothing but a burning match on the ground.
Fuck.
Then, finally, his body collapsed. I don't know exactly when he died. He never yelled out in pain. When the fire was done, he was immediately wrapped in robes and put into a casket and carried to a Buddhist temple with thousands of people walking behind, people that didn't attend the protest.
Wow.
In sort of a procession. And it is said that his heart was not burned at all. Then later he was cremated. But his story is so important because that photo of him was everywhere and it made it to the U.S.
Yes.
It was on the front page of every newspaper. And when John F. Kennedy Jr. saw it for the first time, his words were, Jesus Christ. This photo sparked the U.S. to put pressure on the Vietnam president to meet the Buddhist demands, and the U.S. backed him being overthrown by Vietnamese nationalists. So the president of Vietnam was killed just a few months later by the nationalists, but unrelated, JFK was also killed that year.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's so eerie to think about somebody, like, he planned on doing that day. Like, he had the gas in his car. Like, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. And there were rumors that people had heard that they contacted the press or something a couple days before, like, there's going to be something big at this protest. There were so many protests going on at the time that nobody really made a big deal out of it. But the guy who got that photo was an American guy who just so happened to be there, and it like changed his life.
Wow.
Really crazy, really crazy. Next, we have Florence Beaumont. On October 15th, 1967, a 56-year-old Florence Beaumont performed self-immolation. And going through this, there's some things that you hear that are like mostly males do, mostly women do. I found quite a few women who performed this.
Huh.
She was a retired English teacher, mother of two, and a peace activist and part of an anti-Vietnam War movement. She lived in La Puente and drove to downtown LA on a Sunday morning in October. A few nights before, she was remembered telling one of her friends that she was considering self-immolating, but her friend never took it seriously. So that day, when she drove to downtown LA, she walked up to the Federal Building with her purse that had a little card taped to it that read, "Hello, I'm Florence Beaumont." And then she set the purse down. Then she poured gasoline all over herself, lit a match, and then was engulfed in flames. She walked less than 50 feet and then collapsed. She was extinguished by a guard at the Federal Building, but it was too late. She had already died. And her husband said in a press conference that he didn't know that she had plans to do this and that she was a very, very normal person, but she saw what was happening in Vietnam and felt that she needed to do something. And he really, really wanted to make it clear that this was not a suicide. This was a sacrifice. There were, I believe, close to 100 self-immolations during 1963 to 1971 alone. I believe mostly related to the Vietnam War, and then a lot since. Anything from war, government corruption, institutionalized racism, personal rights, paternal rights. There's been a lot of those, and like family court stuff, debt crisis, animal rights.
I remember the guy going on the White House lawn or something somewhat recently, like maybe 3 years ago.
I think there was one in like 2018 that might have been
Okay.
what you're talking about. I've got two more. This man's name is Alfredo Ormondo. He was a 39-year-old writer from Palermo, Sicily. He wrote a book that was basically like a low-key autobiography called The Overweight Monk. In it, he talks about his Catholic guilt and how he spent 2 years at a monastery trying to cleanse himself. He felt super unclean, that his desires were unclean because he was gay, and being raised Catholic, he was told it was unclean and a sin. In January of 1998, Alfredo went to St. Peter's Basilica and knelt outside on the pavement and lit himself on fire in protest of the Catholic Church and their views on homosexuality.
Wow.
He was extinguished by 2 officers and he died in the hospital 11 days later. But before he did it, he had left a message for everybody to read. And it said, "I hope they'll understand the message I want to leave. It is a form of protest against the church that demonizes homosexuality and at the same time, all of nature, because homosexuality is a child of Mother Nature." Another quote from him from his book, "I've resigned myself to this destiny. The hereafter doesn't frighten me anymore. If God doesn't exist, I won't have to fear hell. If God does exist, then surely he's more just, good, and merciful than the church describes him."
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. And there is a really great 40-minute documentary on him called Alfredo's Fire that we should watch. And then lastly, we have Win Bruce, who is who I talked about in the beginning. He was a 50-year-old man from Boulder, Colorado. He set himself on fire outside of the U.S. Supreme Court building just this year on Earth Day, which was April 22nd. The self-immolation took place at 6:30 p.m., and the Washington Post wrote, "He didn't scream. He didn't run toward the nearby fountain outside the Supreme Court. He didn't cry out in pain. The fire-consuming Win Bruce's body raged for 60 seconds Friday before it was extinguished by police. And he remained still, sitting upright on the court's famous marble plaza, his legs stretched in front of him." Now, his alleged motive, we don't know, but according to his father, the protest was to protest the effects of climate change. And something really eerie I read was that a few weeks before this, he posted on Facebook a link to something about climate change and then a fire emoji and then the date of Earth Day, 4/22/22. So he'd been planning this. And in 2017, he attempted to self-immolate in front of the World Trade Center, but was stopped by onlookers. And then he was airlifted and he died the following day.
Wow.
So
God, I get it. And it's like hard because it's one of those like morality things where I'm like, in certain instances, I'm like, yeah, you are a martyr. But also I'm like, are any of these people in good mental shape
I
able to do that? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to sound fucking problematic or whatever, but I'm like,
No, I get it.
like, because I get being so passionate and wanting to make your fucking point.
I also get the religious side of it. Like I get, it is. I know.
Like, I don't want to sound like a dick where I'm like, are you just mentally really unwell to be able to do that? Or
no, and you also don't want to sound like you're promoting it. Like, wow, good for you. But it's like,
No.
in like the Thich Quan Duke's case, like he sparked, I guess that's not the best word, but he got the attention that they needed.
Incredible. And I see your self-immolation and I raise you
Oh.
a hunger strike.
Oh, wow. We were really on the same page.
Like, we talk about topics back and forth. Like, oh, I think I want to cover this
Yeah.
eventually. I think I want to cover this eventually. But I feel like we really both rode the same wave this week.
Yes.
And one of the things you said is literally might be repetitive.
Okay,
So it's going to
okay.
be crazy. But we'll hear about it after this quick break.
And we're back. And Spencer, you're going to talk about something I will never do.
Hunger strike, baby. So this week, as mentioned, I'm getting into the history of hunger strikes, and I will be talking about some instances, but I feel like I'm going to be leaning more into the effects of a hunger strike.
Okay.
We've seen hunger strikes depicted in television and movies. We've heard them on the news, but I wanted to know, what do they actually entail? By definition, a hunger strike is a method of nonviolent resistance during which participants fast as an act of political protest, with hopes of providing feelings of guilt in others, usually with the objective to achieve a specific goal, such as a policy change. So it's very similar to self-immolation in pertinence to like why it's done.
Yeah. And they're both extremely visually freaky.
When you think about it, yeah, I mean, self-immolation's pretty fucking dark.
But seeing someone,
Starve themselves to
Yeah.
death. Yeah, but I guess with hunger strikes, there's kind of like, it's not always the drastic. You light yourself on fire, you're seeing some pretty harsh results.
Yeah.
Hunger strikes, that's not always the case. Fasting, defined as avoiding specific or all foods and liquids, is a method that has been used throughout history, whether it's for a fad diet, I mean, we hear intermittent fasting all the time, or religious observance. I'm sure we've all heard of it. Back in pre-Christian Ireland, it was actually used as a method of protesting injustice. There are even legends that the patron saint of Ireland, St. Patrick, used hunger strike tactics later on.
really?
Yeah, when he was going across the rainbow to get a pot of gold.
I was going to
No,
say
just
he's
kidding.
real.
He is real. There are also early uses of hunger strikes in India, and they protested in a very similar manner to the Irish, where a protester would fast at the door of whoever they were trying to reason with in order to raise awareness for a cause.
At the door?
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. Okay.
And it was really about like a respect thing for people, because it was said that like that's the worst thing you can do is just die on someone's doorstep.
Yeah.
Like wake the fuck up.
Right.
BBC released an article on hunger strikes in 2011 and added that in pre-Christian Ireland, it was part of the legal system. If a man felt wronged by you and starved himself to death on your doorstep, you had to bear the burden of his debts.
Bring it back.
The article went on to say that the idea of hunger as political protest has experienced a renaissance in the recent past, said Professor Sharman Apt Russell, the author of Hunger in Unnatural History. It was revived by the suffragettes in the UK at the beginning of the 20th century. In July of 1909, when a doctor asked jailed suffragette Marion Wallace Dunlop what she would eat for dinner, she replied in defiance, "My determination."
Ooh.
Gandhi is arguably the most famous hunger striker in history. Republican prisoners in Northern Ireland highlighted their cause by staging hunger strikes in 1980 and 1981 that were like super famous that we're going to get into with the stories. That professor went on to say that it has become an established cultural form of seeking justice in the 20th century. She warns that a hunger strike needs the oxygen of publicity, but interest will wane if the cause at stake does not withstand public scrutiny. So basically, if like not enough people think there's a bad policy that needs to be changed, then they won't see a lot of public interest. Hunger strikes have been used by both violent and nonviolent movements, and some have been more successful than others at bringing about change. So basically, my takeaway from reading that article and my brief research at the beginning was like, has there been successes with hunger strikes? Absolutely. But it still takes a toll on your body, and it can even lead to death. So let's get into what actually happens to your body during a hunger strike. Within just 2 to 3 days, which I can't even imagine going that long without eating.
I can't go 2 to 3 hours.
Not to sound like a dumb bitch, but fuck.
We're very lucky that we don't have to.
Yes. Within just 2 to 3 days, there is a drop in resistance to infections because your body simply isn't well nourished enough to fight off anything. So it starts going into survival mode, which makes sense because you think about like people that are in a weaker state or unable to eat. There always is this big fear around getting an infection, like when people are hospitalized. Signs of physical and mental impairment can also be seen during those first 72 hours. Fat and muscle loss and changes in the body's processes all begin pretty early on, and there is a significant decrease in electrolyte levels as well, which can affect your just normal bodily functions.
Yeah.
Both your strength and any wound healing potential are greatly decreased after those first few days pass, which is interesting. Like, you just don't really think of that. I mean, people always say, like, food is energy, and it's so important to eat this, but it really does make a difference.
And you think these effects would happen
a month
week
in.
or two?
Yeah,
a month in, not 2 to 3 days.
Due to lack of carbohydrates, the body switches to its fat and protein reserves and starts relying solely on them as its main source of energy. Around the 2-week mark, rapid dizziness is pretty common, and you might also see a loss of coordination as well as a low heart rate and some more serious side effects like vision loss and a plethora of other neurological issues. I mean, the toll that it can take on your mental health is drastic. It can lead to just a crippling depression.
Is this just food strike or is this water?
Most people will still have some liquid.
Yeah.
Or even like in more modern times, like they'll up their electrolytes and stuff, but they're not eating.
Okay.
Which is still really dangerous.
Yeah.
Around the 3-week mark, you're probably lacking coordination with your motor skills, and you're also experiencing dangerously low levels of vitamin B1, which I looked into, and that could lead to loss of appetite, more muscle weakness, and extreme tiredness.
Wow.
One article from Radio Free Europe's Radio Liberty said that after 1 month, should you reach 1 month, or it's the equivalent, I guess, of after you've lost 18% of your body weight, you'll start having difficulties swallowing water, and most likely you'll experience hearing and vision loss, and this is when the earliest signs of organ failure may start to set in. After the 6 to 8 week mark, there is a high likelihood of death, and should you reach the 45-day mark, you're looking at severe infection as well as possible cardiovascular collapse. Now, let's say you make it that far. Some have, and you've decided to end your hunger strike. Well, your body doesn't just bounce back from it. According to that Radio Free Europe article, even after a protester or activist decides to end a hunger strike, there's the potential risk of something called a refeeding syndrome. And this syndrome occurs as a result of shifts in fluids and electrolytes, meaning that giving too much food or fluids too quickly may be dangerous and potentially fatal. It may include liver dysfunction, heart arrhythmia, and pulmonary, neurological, or other symptoms, which I think, and I mean, I don't want to be quoted on this, but I know that I've heard of refeeding syndrome in relation to certain eating disorders. Or at least that makes sense to me. Like if somebody was battling with not getting the nutrients that they need, and then all of a sudden they're being pushed. You probably have to be really careful with how you reintroduce food.
Right.
One of the most notorious deaths as a result of a hunger strike was that of Bobby Sands, who lasted an astounding 65 days.
Oh, fuck.
IrishAmerica.com published a piece on the story saying that on May 5th of 1981, having completed 65 days on hunger strike, Republican prisoner Bobby Sands died in the H-Block prison hospital at Longkesh. By the time the prison hunger strike ended on October 3rd of 1981, 10 young men had starved themselves to death. And this is also something I saw many times during my research, was it's often an act that prisoners do because it's one of the only things that you really can do if you're in prison. The hunger strike was a last effort by the inmates to be recognized as political prisoners. The protest had started in 1976 when the prisoners went, quote, on the blanket, refusing to wear prison uniforms. They went naked or wore blankets when prison authorities removed everything from the cells except for their chamber pots.
What?
The blanket protests escalated into the dirty protest in 1978 after a number of attacks on prisoners who left their cells to slop out. Prisoners began smearing excrement on the walls.
Oh.
I got a story about that I'll share one day. These were the conditions when I didn't do it. These were the conditions when 2 years later, the first hunger strike began. It ended in autumn of 1980 when the British government appeared to concede to the prisoners' demands, but the government reverted to its previous hardline stance once the strike was over. The second hunger strike started with Bobby Sands refusing food on March 1st of 1981. He had spent 9 years, almost all of his adult life, in prison, where he gradually educated himself and became fluent in the Gaelic language. He studied Che Guevara and Ho Chi Minh, as well as Irish socialists James Connolly and Liam Mellows, to develop a broader understanding of colonial oppression, and he used his poetry, prose, songs, and essays to resist what the IRA saw as colonial occupation by the British. In his book, Nothing But an Unfinished Song, Dennis O'Hearn chronicles the life and death of Sands and the aftermath of the hunger strike, which, according to O'Hearn, helped bring Republicans in from the cold, that is, into the political process that culminated the Good Friday Accords in 1998. The following excerpts from his book opens with Bobby Sands beginning the hunger strike that would lead to his death 66 days later. It says, the day began quite like any other. The screws left Bobby's breakfast at the door. His portions were much bigger than Malachi's. There was no feeling that something big had just begun. The sense of anticlimax was heightened because it was Sunday and the regular staff was off duty. There was no one of consequences to whom Bobby could announce the fact that he was beginning the biggest protest that ever enveloped an Irish prison. A screw tried to belittle Bobby's refusal of breakfast by muttering, "Fuck, there's another one," then shouting to his fellow screw, "Sands is starting on it this time." So they were like, oh, he's starting this next wave of protests.
Oh, God. Wow.
The screws were taking the protest pretty lightly. They did not think that it would last very long, especially after the collapse of the first one. They figured that the government would come to some sort of settlement with these blanket men. Certainly, they thought no one would die. There were other differences from the first hunger strike. On his doctor's advice, Bobby kept raw salt in his cell and took bits on the tip of a wet finger, whereas the previous strikers put salt in their water. Taking raw salt meant that Bobby could easily drink 6 pints of fresh water every day. The doctor thought salty water made the previous hunger strikers sick to their stomachs, but Bobby was totally focused. He explained in his diary why he was on a hunger strike. "I am a political prisoner. I am a political prisoner because I am a casualty of perennial war that is being fought between the oppressed Irish people and an alien, oppressive, unwanted regime that refuses to withdraw from our land. I believe and stand by the God-given right of the Irish nation to sovereign independence and the right of any Irishman or woman to assert this right in armed revolution. That is why I am incarcerated, naked, and tortured. I am dying not just to attempt to end the barbarity of H-Block or to gain the rightful recognition of a political prisoner, but primarily because what is lost in here is lost for the Republic and those wretched oppressed whom I am deeply proud to know as the risen people." In the morning, Bobby went to Mass. Some blanket men treated him carefully. The conversations were short, and it goes more into his story, but Bobby Sands ended up dying on the 66th day of his hunger strike, and 9 of his comrades followed him to their deaths. Francis Hughes, Ray McCreesh, Patsy O'Hara, Joe McDonnell, Martin Herson, Kevin Lynch, Kieran Doherty, and Tom McElwee Devine. Just under a month before his death, Sands was elected to the British Parliament.
Wow. What a way to go.
Truly. This one's really interesting. Helen Bullock was a member of a, quote, leftist Turkish folk music band called Group Yorum, and she was arrested in November of 2016 when she was detained with 7 other members of the group on charges of resisting the police, insulting, and being a member of a terrorist organization. The musicians Bahar Kurt, Baris Yüksel, and Ali Arach announced that they started an indefinite and irreversible hunger strike on May 17th of 2019 to end the pressures from the state, the bans on their concerts, and the raids on cultural centers. Helen Bullock joined the hunger strike in June of 2019. She was released in November of 2019 but continued to fast. On March 11th of 2020, Ibrahim Gökek and Helen Bullock were taken out to the Umrani State Hospital after a police raid that morning at their home in Istanbul. In a statement made by their lawyer, the 2 Group Yorum members stated that they were taken to the hospital by ambulance and that they were admitted to the emergency room where they declared that they did not accept intervention or treatment. She ended up dying on April 3rd of 2020 on the 288th day of a hunger strike at her home in Istanbul, which was held as a means to protest the treatment of the band by the Turkish government. After her death, large crowds mourned Helen Bullock, and they began to march towards this house of gathering in Turkey, and the police intervened the march and detained several participants, but the crowds managed to deliver her coffin to this gathering house. The crowds intended to go to the cemetery, but the police impeded it and detained several participants of the ceremony again. Afterwards, the police transported Helen's body to the cemetery. Ronald Easterbrook was a quote-unquote career criminal who had spent a lifetime committing various crimes, mostly robberies. In 2009, The Guardian wrote, "Refusing food has long been a weapon used by prisoners to air their grievances." Ronnie Easterbrook, who has died in Gartree prison at the age of 77, had more grievances than most and was the most prominent incarcerated hunger striker of recent times. Astonishingly, for a man of his age, with 1 lung and badly damaged kidneys, Easterbrook had been refusing food at the Leicestershire jail since November. It was his 3rd such protest since he was imprisoned in 1988. In 1997, he refused solid food for almost 9 months, and in 1999 fasted for 3 months before giving up his protest. A self-confessed career criminal, his first conviction for armed robbery was in 1958. He had served several sentences before this last one. In November of 1988, he took part in an armed wages robbery in Woolwich, southeast London, with 2 accomplices. He set out to hold up a supermarket. The venture was doomed to fail. An informer named Seamus Ray had alerted police and officers, including marksmen, who were waiting at the scene for them to do the robbery. One of the accomplices was shot dead, and Easterbrook fired several shots at the officers, wounding one of the police inspectors before he and the other accomplice were wounded and arrested. The incident was captured on film by a Thames television show who were making a documentary on the flying squad and shown on primetime television. Easterbrook said he was born into a straight working-class family in Deptford. His mother had 11 children, and he was definitely the black sheep. In an interview with The Guardian in 1999, he said that when Ray, who was the informer, propped him with the Woolwich job, he had already decided to go straight. "I wasn't keen because I was 56 and had enough. I just got my council flat nice, don't drink, gamble, or take drugs, and so I could have managed without much money. I wanted a quiet life, but we agreed to do it, and that was that." At his trial, he tried to claim that the police had operated a shoot-to-kill policy, saying that his accomplice that ended up getting shot and killed had actually surrendered before he was shot.
Oh.
But basically, like, his defense team was like, "We're not saying that. We're not going with that theory."
Okay.
And so he's like, "Well, fuck this. Like, the whole system's fucked." And hence he ends up going on this hunger strike for months and then dies.
I mean, the dedication. I don't know if that's the right word, but like, you have got to have some crazy willpower.
That's what it comes down to, because I cannot imagine.
Or just being so convicted
Or passionate.
in your beliefs. Yeah.
I don't know if I believe in anything enough to not eat.
I'm not passionate about anything enough.
Please. God. Sell my soul for some fries and ranch.
Lazy.
Yeah. Okay, I want to end with this woman I learned about who is known as India's Iron Lady. This is from an article from the Smithsonian, obviously linked in the sources, as are all the sources for this episode. But it says a lot can happen in 16 years. Just think about Y2K and the rise of the internet, and you'll realize how much you've done since the year 2000. I should mention this article was written in 2016.
Okay.
But for one Indian woman, the last 16 years have been memorable not because of what she did, but rather what she didn't do. Eat. Her name is Iram Chanu Sharmila, nicknamed the Iron Lady, has finally broken her 16-year-long fast.
Stop it.
That turned her body into a symbol of resistance against state violence. Sharmila began what could be the world's longest hunger strike in 2000 in protest of India's Armed Forces Special Powers Act. The law allowed Indian armed forces who are deployed in areas of the government deems disturbed areas to act with near impunity and shoot and kill and occupy civilian houses at will. On November 10th of 2000, 10 civilians standing at a bus stop in Sharmila's home state of Manipur were allegedly shot and killed by Indian troops who claimed they were exchanging fire with insurgents. The incident, renamed the Malom Massacre by infuriated civilians, prompted Sharmila to begin a hunger strike, and she vowed to continue until the AFSPA was repealed, which is like, I mean, that's fucking admirable. She's like, I'm not fucking standing for this shit, which, as is admirable what's happening right now in Iran, but we'll save that for another day.
Yeah.
The AFSPA has roots in India's colonial past. It was originally enacted by the British colonial powers in opposition to the nonviolent Quilt India movement spearheaded by Mahatma Gandhi that attempted to oust the British from India. Soon after she started her strike, she was arrested and imprisoned under an Indian law that makes attempting suicide a crime, and she was force-fed liquid nutrients and medicine through the nose. As a prisoner, she lost her ability to vote and has occupied a hospital room for 16 years with no end to the law in sight. Now, she has decided to abandon her hunger strike and enter politics instead, taking her first lick of solid food, honey, on the 70th anniversary of the Quit India movement. India's treatment of Sharmila and the continuation of the AFSPA has drawn international condemnation. In a statement about the end of her hunger strike and her likely release from custody, Amnesty International senior campaigner Abir VP said the government has arrested her, confined her to a hospital room, and force-fed her for 16 years, seemingly to break her will. But though the Iron Lady has changed her tactics, her will seems unbroken. This is my right, she told reporters at her bedside in the hospital. I have the right to be seen as a human being.
Oh my God, 16 years.
Wild.
You don't think there's been one little slip up?
It's like a crumb on the floor. I don't know. I just can't imagine it. I don't have very strong willpower in general, though. No, I do. I haven't eaten meat since I was 5, and I haven't drank alcohol in like 16 years.
Yeah. Some people just aren't into food, too.
You know what they say? They say you either eat to live
or you live to eat. I'm the latter.
We're living to eat, okay? We'll drive 5 hours for some good food.
I mean, there have been times where just a meal has kept me from losing it.
Oh, honestly, if I'm depressed, I'll be like,
I'm sad.
What's worth it in life?
Yeah.
Food.
Happy, eat. Sad, eat. Bored, eat. Mad, eat. Well, God, these people are determined. You can be against it or for it, but you can't take away their determination.
Well, hearing what it does to your body, too, that's what makes it even harder for me to be like, how do you keep going? How do you keep going?
I know. The mind is a powerful fucking thing. Like, going back to the self-immolation, the people that just sat there calmly, like, that is mind over matter. The hunger pangs that one would feel on a hunger strike, mind over matter.
I mean, it's all relative. I mean, even like, not to fucking downplay any of this, but even down to our OCD, like, or our anxiety. It's like the things that we do, it proves how powerful the mind is, that it can have this like physical, visceral reaction to like life. I don't know, man. We're getting deep. We're getting deep. We gotta stop. We gotta stop.
Move on here.
Move into some obituaries. Who you got?
Well, let's liven this up here. We have a man that the New York Post wrote about just a month ago. His name's Steven. Trying yet loving son to Norm and Gwen. Annoying yet protective big brother to Philip and Helen. Bewildering yet lovable husband to Valda, Joanne, and Rosemary.
Oh, shit.
Questionable yet ever entertaining parenting methods to Stevie and Sherry, Jody and Terry. Claire and Liam, plus 7 grandkids. Partner in crime to Daryl and to many of his mates. Storyteller, poet, larger than life, life of the party. Thanks for the memories, you crazy bastard. We love you and miss you. No funeral will be held as per Steve's request. Piss up at Stafford Tavern instead.
I love that.
His obituary picture is him holding a drink.
Fuck yeah.
Or him mid drinking.
We
love
love it.
him. Love it. It's a newspaper clipping too, which I love.
Love a newspaper clipping. Mine was written by a child for their father, and it said, "It is with profound sadness that I announce the death of my dad, Billy J. Allenbaugh. He passed away peacefully on September 26th of 2022, surrounded by his family in Larned, Kansas. My dad loved gardening, landscaping, and spending time with his family. Billy was especially fond of his grandchildren and was excited to meet his new great-granddaughter, Claire, who is expected to be here soon. Billy was born on May 8th of 1955 in Chula Vista, California, and lived in Nickerson, Hutchinson, Turon, Lincoln, and most recently, Larned. I think it's Larned. It's Larned.
Yeah.
Sure. He served in the United States Army from July of 1973 to March of 1976. My dad could plant anything in the ground and it would blossom into the most beautiful masterpiece. He tried in vain each year to teach me his craft, but finally succumbed to the realization that I just did not have the magic touch and allowed me to water the plants instead, but not too much and only during certain times of the day. Billy loved mowing yards, any yard with any type of mower, and at any time of the day. He knew exactly how to perfectly care for and maintain the most beautiful yards. Billy was also known for his beautiful food gardens that he planted every year. Throughout his life, my dad was known for many things: making friends easily, helping anyone in need, loving his family, and being one of the most accident-prone people you have ever met. Billy's stories of injury and near-death experiences always ended in a mixture of disbelief and belly laughs from his captivated audiences. Billy is survived by the love of his life, Deborah Allenbaugh, a woman who should be considered for sainthood solely by withstanding all the stitches, broken bones, surgeries, car wrecks, explosions, electrocutions, lightning strikes, snake bites, and other traumatic events she witnessed during their 46 years together. And then it lists the rest of the family, the preceded, and yeah, but I just love him.
Oh, what a sweetie. I love that he can plant anything and it grows because I can't.
Oh, you and I, we will buy so many plants and then...
A cactus? I can grow that sucker.
Yeah.
Anything else? I've got dead rose bushes in front of my house right now.
It's Halloween.
Oh, my God. Well, should we get into some dumbass criminals?
When would we ever segue like that? Madison? When would we ever? We've spun in our coffins.
Oh, yeah. We've bitched our obituary.
What are you? No, sorry, hold on. Are you over it? I'm sorry. Do you have somewhere better to be?
No, I love this. It's my dream job.
Okay, we've spun in our coffins.
We've bitched our obituaries.
So now it's time for some dumb
ass
criminals.
Alrighty, so I thought that I would carry the protest theme into the dumbass criminals.
Perfect.
My husband actually posted on his Instagram about this story. I looked into it. I was like, that is a wild story. So this happened this month, just a few days ago. And this article's from The Insider. Woman released swarms of bees on deputies during protest to prevent the eviction of a 79-year-old black homeowner.
Good.
I know. I don't think she's a
Tell me the
criminal.
story.
I know. A woman at a Massachusetts eviction protest is accused of unleashing bees at deputies. Protesters were trying to stop the eviction of a black homeowner. The homeowner, Alton King Jr., told Insider he's the victim of predatory lending. When sheriff's deputies arrived to evict a 79-year-old man from his foreclosed Longmeadow, Massachusetts home, they were met by protesters and a swarm of bees, according to a criminal complaint provided to Insider. The Hampton County Sheriff's Office has accused Rory Susan Woods of Hadley, Massachusetts, of unleashing the swarm from multiple hives after they arrived to attempt to evict Alton King Jr. Woods, 55, was in an SUV pulling a trailer that contained at least 4 large beehives and then started shaking the beehives in an effort to get the bees agitated. One deputy was stung in the face and several others were forced to retreat to avoid the swarm. When another deputy told Woods that he and other deputies were allergic to bees, police said that she responded, Oh, you're allergic? Good, according to the report.
Fuck.
Deputies said that Woods resisted arrest, but was eventually taken into custody and charged with assault and battery by means of a dangerous weapon, assault by means of a dangerous weapon, and disorderly conduct. Police alleged the weapon was bees, according to the complaint. Speaking to Insider, King identified himself as an elderly disabled man who lost his house due to a predatory home loan stemming from 2006 and what he considers unfair treatment in local courts. And then it goes on to talk about him a little bit more, but you have to see her picture. She's in a full beekeeper outfit.
Oh my God.
Look at her.
They really arrested her with the beekeeper
pussies?
head.
God.
I mean, you can't unleash. I would be very scared of a bee, but
Yeah, but like, I think it's fucking cool for the community to come out and ride for this elderly man.
They're like, you're not taking him.
Sorry, you're gonna get stung.
Good. Go out with a sting.
So she's not the dumbass criminal.
Okay. I've got the Riverside fortune teller.
What? Oh, no.
The Riverside fortune teller, so you know it's going to be good. First of all, I want to say that, like, there's something kind of handsome about him.
Okay.
And I feel like I would have fallen for his tricks. Well, let me show you him.
Okay. Yeah.
He has a nice jaw.
Yeah. Good facial structure.
Uh-huh. Good hairline. Okay, this is from ABC 7. Riverside, California. A Riverside man who billed himself as a fortune teller has been arrested after allegedly defrauding multiple victims, including one woman who ended up paying him more than $50,000 after he told her that she and her family were cursed, authorities said Friday. Andres Pena Meneses, 31, was booked on suspicion of grand theft and theft by false pretenses, both felonies, according to the Riverside Police Department. He was released after posting $57,000 bail. He got it from that lady. The department's Economic Crimes Unit launched an investigation this summer into a fortune teller business on the 3500 block of Arlington Avenue. Detectives learned that a female victim visited the business to have her fortune read. The suspect was described as a Colombian national who went by the name Carlos, who convinced the victim that she had parasites in her body, to which she paid him several $100s to clear her of. The man later contacted the woman and explained that she and her family were actually cursed and that he needed more money to rid her of it. The victim ultimately paid Carlos more than $50,000 after he convinced her that her children were also in trouble.
Honestly, if someone told me, like, does he endorse where I'd probably be falling for it.
Well, Carlos, give her a call. Investigators identified the suspect as Meneses and learned that he had a prior arrest and conviction in late 2019 in Chicago for a similar fraud in which he portrayed himself as a faith healer and stole money from victims. On Tuesday, a search warrant was served at his home and business in Riverside, where detectives found a significant amount of cash along with several items such as a voodoo doll, tarot cards, altars, religious and satanic type objects, and a small live snake that were used as part of the fraud of Mr. Meneses was committing. According to police, several customers arrived at the business while the search was being conducted, so he's like a fucking popular guy.
Wow.
But listen to this. Him and his staff, they would go to these people's houses and they would cut open someone's mattress and they pretend that they found the snake in the mattress.
No.
And they would be like, look, you're fucking cursed.
Oh, fuck that.
Authorities contacted the other victims who said that he advertised his services on the radio. He would tell them that they were cursed and to pay him money in order to rid them of their ailments, such as diabetes, headaches, sleep disorders, and nightmares. Detectives do believe other people have been victimized by him, but have not yet come forward. Anyone with information should please contact the authorities. And you know what, though? I'll always say this when it comes to psychics and this and that. You're the dumbass as the customer. If you believe you're giving away all your money.
I know.
I'm like, should people be coerced into giving money? No. But I'm also like, what's the difference between a politician urging someone for money because they're saying, oh, the state's going to fucking fail if you don't vote for me.
Yeah.
Versus someone saying, hey, give me money or else you're going to fucking be cursed.
Preying on people.
Preying on people, man. And that's what we're against.
There are some real psychics, though.
Who knows?
Right?
Who knows? I don't fucking know. Anyone could say anything. But I'm going to say goodbye.
Oh my God. Well, we got to go drive around right now.
Yeah, we
in
gotta
the
go
new truck.
Drive out the new truck. If you want to mail me a new keychain for my truck, our PO box is PO
Or
box.
for my new house keys.
Yes.
Okay.
PO Box 18149, Long Beach, California 90807.
Follow along on Twitter and Instagram at obituarypod and TikTok at obituary podcast.
And you can also write to us, obitpod@gmail.com, with your own wild funeral stories or whatever else you feel like sending us. But that's it for this week. We'll be back next week with some more coffin spinners
Obituaries.
and dumb
Ass.
criminals.
Honk, honk.
Why was... Oh,
Gonna
for the
be us.
truck. Okay, bye.
Love you. Bye.